With about 1 week left in the season, the Americans are close to securing their spot in the playoffs, with their magic number down to 2. Today, they face a team that's already secured their playoff position. However, the Americans have had the edge most of the year over this team and can clinch the season series with a win today. After a win to avoid the sweep against Jamestown, can they carry the momentum and take down the top team in the West Division? It's the Americans. It's the Muckdogs. It's PGCBL Baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
The ace of the Giants, Sal Mack, Eagle 7.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome into Dwyer Stadium. The Americans and Muckdogs playing in a high-stakes game. The first-place team in the West Division looking to secure a playoff home game. A win and 2 Auburn losses can get them there. The Americans, meanwhile, have their magic number down to 2. That means regardless of what the 5th-place Pioneers do, the Americans, if they win their next 2 games or any 2 games the rest of the season, they will clinch a playoff berth. Americans already at 25 wins this season, looking to secure their spot in this 4-team West Division bracket. We'll take a look at the PGCBL standings to give you a closer look at this playoff picture. And here it is. The Muckdogs in first place have officially clinched a playoff berth with the cancellation of the Pioneers doubleheader against Jamestown. The Muckdogs have enough wins to get in to the playoffs no matter what happens the rest of the season. Tarpskunks 2.5 games behind them, so the Muckdogs not only looking to clinch playoffs, but clinch the division title. Doubledays right behind them, 3 games back. Americans tied with Auburn, but the tiebreaker in Auburn's favor as the Doubledays have swept the Americans in 3 games against them. Pioneers in 5th place are another few games back, so the Americans have a buffer within this playoff field. Pilots 9.5 back, hanging by a thread. And then the Red Wings and Ironbacks are mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. We'll be back with the lineups in just a moment. So I've just received word that this game has been delayed by 10 minutes due to unforeseen circumstances. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll head to break for a few.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Welcome back into Dwyer Stadium. Americans and Muckdogs should be underway any moment now. I'm Andrew Roberts, your play-by-play broadcaster, bringing you through all of the action here in Batavia. Give you another look at the PGCBL standings for those of you just joining. Some high stakes in today's game. The Muckdogs already clinched a playoff berth. If they win today, depending on what happens in Double Days Ironbags, the Muckdogs have a chance to clinch a playoff home game. And then, in addition to that, the Americans have their magic number down to just 2, as they have a 3-game separation with the Elmira Pioneers right now. They're looking to really lock it in, get into that playoff picture for good. So all they have to do, the Pioneers are off till Wednesday, and the Americans can make the playoffs by just winning their next 2 games. We'll see if that happens, but the Pioneers potentially could give them some help as well if the Americans lose one of these next 2. So multiple ways for the Americans to get in the playoffs, and I'd argue easiest way is just to take matters into their own hands. Beat Batavia today, beat Newark on Tuesday, and this team will see playoff action. Those playoffs starting on Monday, the 28th. And the top 2 seeds in the West Division will host for the semifinals. Highest remaining seed hosts for the finals the very next day. Then a couple-day hiatus before the championship, August 1st through 3rd. So we'll be underway any moment here in Batavia. We'll give you a look at the lineup for the Niagara Falls Americans. Batting just 9 batters in this one. Alan Ramos, the leadoff man in Grant Moore's absence. .236 hitter on the year. Second on the remaining roster in stolen bases. Gavin Boyle in left field batting second. Chris Gazaldo at third in the 3-hole for the first time this season. Be followed up by Graydon Miller, the cleanup man. Ian Huang has otherwise been known as the Muckdog Killer this season. Batting fifth, playing second. Nick Pass doing the catching, batting sixth. Carm Panaro in right field, bats seventh. Connor Kiefer getting his first start in the outfield. He plays center and bats eighth. Logan Stickler, the DH, in the 9-hole, looking for revenge on his overturned home run against these Muckdogs in Niagara Falls just a month ago. And the pitching matchup today will be all SUNY Niagara. Eric Woodley and Matt Kasperwitz will give you further introductions of those two later as they take the mound. But Woodley and Caspi played together at SUNY Niagara, went to the JUCO World Series together. Now they are pitted against each other in summer ball. So this game still in delay for the time being. But we're about to get underway. We'll keep you posted on the start time here from Dwyer. But first, the Bikers against child abuse. Same Bikers that performed in Niagara Falls on Friday are here in Batavia in this game. Here they come, right down the first base line. Bikers against child abuse, a proud sponsor of both the Americans and Muckdogs. A great cause and some great bikers. Here they come.
Abused children. They stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization, as well as working in conjunction with local and state officials who are already in place to protect children. They are prepared to lend their physical and emotional support to the children by affiliation and their physical presence. They stand at the ready to shield these children from further abuse. Let's give it up for the Bikers Against Child Abuse. fans, once again, welcome to Dwyer Stadium for this afternoon's game as your Batavia Muckdogs take on the visiting Niagara Falls Americans. Don't miss out on your free photo with the Diamond Dance team as well. And fans, did I mention that your Batavia Muckdogs are in first place? Yes, they are. And now, fans, it's time to make some noise for this awesome KMS Diamond Dance Team featuring some of our guests from the dance camp earlier today.
Today here at Dwyer Stadium is Diamond Dance Team Photo Day. The Diamond Dance Team out on the field right now, but all fans here in Batavia can get a photo of the squad.
I know you've missed him. He's been under the weather.
Here comes the Muckdogs mascot, Dewey.
He's done crazy and zany and funny. His mascot in the lead. Let's hear it for Dewey.
We'll have national anthem in just a moment. We will pause for that.
Dewey wants to thank Perry Veterinary Clinic for being the absolute #1 place for animal care pet needs in the area. Our thanks to Perry Veterinary Clinic for sponsoring our beloved Dewey. And as Dewey always says, go Muckdogs! And now, Ben, it's time to welcome the man with the loudest bark. He's faster than the Sharks, and he's about ready to take over the ballpark. Here comes Muckdogs!
Hey, Muckdogs fans, how are we doing today?
Just make sure it doesn't get like
You got your free diamond dance photo. Those are free dancers, by the way. By the way, can you give it up for Duke for coming back from injury? Well, look, Muckdogs fans, we're going to have to make some noise because if your Muckdogs win tonight, we clinch our playoff spot. Make some noise! I'm not satisfied with that. You guys can make some more noise. Come on, make some noise for your Muckdogs! Thank you. Now back to you, Bo.
Thank you, Lou Dog. It's now time to introduce the starting lineups. First for the visiting Niagara Falls Americans, who are managed by Will Cordero and Paul Wolf. Leading off for the Americans and playing shortstop, number 4, Alan Ramos. Ramos, shortstop. Batting second to left fielder, number 16, Gavin Boyle. Boyle, left field. Batting third to third base, number 42, Christopher Gazaldo. Gazaldo, third base. In the cleanup spot, the first baseman, number 15, Graydon Miller. Miller, first base. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 31, Ian Wang. Wang, second base. Batting sixth and catching, number 20, Nick Pass. Pass, catching. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 21, Carmen Panero. Panero, right field. Batting eighth and playing center field, number 1, Connor Keeper. Keeper, center field. Batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 17, Logan Stickler. Stickler, DH. And the starting pitcher today for the Americans, number 35, Matthew Kemperwitz. Kemperwitz starting for the Niagara Falls Americans. And ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to make make some noise as we introduce to you the starting lineup for your first place Batavia Muckdogs, brought to you by Townsend Bank. Your Muckdogs are managed by Joey Skip Martinez. His assistant coaches are Khalid Pax, Grant Bickham, and Julian Pachardo. Your Muckdog college manager is Eric Mozicki. Today's official HPO bat boy is Jackson Glosenhauer. Additionally, the Muckdogs official trainer is being provided by Rochester Regional Health. And now fans, here's the starting lineup for your Muckdogs. Leading off and playing shortstop from Hofstra University, number 1, Tyler Castrataro. Castrataro, shortstop. Batting second on center field is the University of Oklahoma, number 10, Braden Horton. Horton, center field. Batting third left fielder for Keystone College, number 7, Sean Mendez. Mendez left field. Batting fourth, third baseman from Salisbury University, number 2, Jackson Inman. Third base. Batting fifth and playing second base, today's Collins Inman from Tuscaloosa University, number 46, Omar Carreras. Carreras, second base. Batting sixth and DH from City Corporate, number 27, James Bolton. Bolton, DH. Batting seventh, the extra hitter from the University of Dayton, number 99, Jacob Pesco. Pesco, DH. Batting eighth, playing first base for Thomas Jefferson University, number 21, Justin Espinal. Espinal, first base. Batting ninth, right fielder from St. College of Florida, number 22, Kyle Vaughn. Vaughn, right field. Batting 10th, catching from Keystone College, number 5, Cooper Best. And starting pitching today for your Batavia Muckdogs from SUNY Niagara, number 6, Eric Woodley. Woodley starting pitching for Batavia Muckdogs. And ladies and gentlemen, the rest of your Batavia Muckdogs. And now everyone, I'd like to ask that you all please rise and remove your hats.
We will now come back
For the singing of our national anthem, which will be performed this afternoon by my friend, Aaron Dunn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's take a look at the starting pitcher.
We bring you back. About to be underway here at Dwyer Stadium. A nice national anthem performance. But the Muckdogs taking the field. And their starting pitcher is Eric Woodley. Woodley 2-0 with a 3.48 ERA and 23 strikeouts. Product of SUNY Niagara, has seen a mix of starts and relief appearances for this Muckdogs squad. Was primarily a starter over at SUNY Niagara. But the last time that he pitched was against the Newark Pilots out of the bullpen. That came on Thursday when he went 2 innings and picked up the win. Also pitched against the Americans the last time these two teams faced off. tossed a clean inning before the Muckdogs blew it in the ninth. Americans with a walk-off win thanks to Chris Gazaldo, who's due up in this inning. It's Ramos as well as Boyle and Gazaldo due up to face Woodley in inning number 1. Woodley also started against these Americans on the 4th of July. That was an excellent outing for him. Led the Muckdogs to victory despite a Gavin Boyle home run for his second of the season. The Americans, over these next 2 days, are going to be facing the 2 teams that Gavin Boyle hit his first 2 homers against. Boyle in a bit of a slump of late, looking to snap out of it. Who better to face than the 2 teams that he hit his first 2 bombs against? And even today, the same pitcher he hit at the bomb off of for Batavia. See if that reigns true for Newark when the Americans see them on Tuesday. There'll be an out-of-league game in between, but that won't impact the playoff picture for the Americans. So it remains to be seen how many of the American starters will play tomorrow against the Buffalo Diesel. Second matchup between the Americans and Diesel this season. The cool thing about that one is it's a battle between the 2 Americans, managers Paul Wolf and Will Cordero. Wolf also coaches the Diesel. Cordero here to coach the Americans today. He gets situated at third base. He's established signs with this Americans team from third. In addition, gave a speech on Thursday the 10th after a loss in Auburn about effort-laden ball games, even if the Americans are down big. And that certainly had an impact on Tuesday when the Americans walked off the Muckdogs. They were down 3-1 headed into the bottom of the ninth. They were a little impatient against Auburn on the 10th late in the game, hacking at some questionable pitches, but then the patience really shined through in the 8th inning, actually, against Woodley. And then in the 9th, it paid off when the Americans scored 1 on a wild pitch and then scored 2 more on the Gazaldo RBI knock. Eric Woodley looking to continue his success against these Americans. It's his 3rd appearance against this team. So he's seen these batters plenty. He's looking to show that that makes a difference. Here's Alan Ramos, the leadoff man for the Americans today, likely to be the leadoff man through most of this stretch that Moore is out. Moore injured in Friday's game against the Tarp Skunks on the first play, made a dive in center field and hurt his glove hand. So we'll hope he's all right and back with the team soon. Just on that outside corner for strike 1 on Alan Ramos. Ramos batting .236 with a .611 OPS on the year. One of the more consistent hitters for the Americans, and hits a high chopper to Inman at third, trying to beat out the throw, but cannot get there. Espinal completes the out. It's 1 down early for the Americans. Gavin Boyle up next. Has spent almost the entire season in the 3 spot of the lineup, but moving up a spot to bat second in this game. The left fielder batting .253 with an .813 OPS, 3 homers, 17 RBIs. Without a hit since his PGCBL Player of the Week award, but did get on base on Friday. Through his patience, takes an upstairs ball here. Hoping to do the same against Batavia. Boyle in his 2nd year with the Americans. And grounds that into left field. That gets through the gap for a base hit. Between Inman and Castrotaro, and Gavin Boyle is on first. After just 1 down in the inning, Chris Gazaldo has a chance to advance him. Gazaldo is the hero from the last time these teams faced off. Had the walk-off single in the 9th inning. On the year, batting .296 with a .710 OPS. Earned an all-star nod. And he has 9 games with multiple hits this season, including one against the Tarp Skunks. Gazaldo, better known as the X Factor for this team. Americans are 13-7 when Gazaldo has a hit. And they are 5-6 without a Gazaldo hit. Count is now even, ones across the board to Chris with a runner on first. Gavin Boyle has a lead on first base. Woodley looking to shut Gazaldo down and keep Boyle there. Big cut and miss on the chase outside for Chris Gazaldo. Gazaldo down in the count, looking to recover here. Last had multiple hits in Jamestown on Thursday when the team had just 4. Outside for ball 2 to even things up. Gazaldo looking to get that batting average back above 300. It's kind of teeter-tottered around that 300 line. Much better line to be around than the Mendoza line. Big cut and miss. Chris Gazaldo strikes out on his first time up today. Graydon Miller up next. And he's the last hope to advance Gavin Boyle. I mean, he's had plenty of experience advancing Gavin. Over the last week or two, Miller and Boyle have batted back-to-back pretty much exclusively. But now Boyle 2 spots ahead of Graydon. Boyle and Miller, the only 2 remaining Americans hitters from the 2024 team. Jake Collins and Dalton Harper also started the year with the Americans after playing for them a year ago, but have since departed the team. Big cut and miss for Miller on the first pitch from Woodley. It's 0-1. Miller, a .333 hitter, .801 OPS, 1 homer, and 27 RBIs. A rocket first base over the last 2 seasons here in Niagara Falls. The 0-1 is cut on and missed as well. Miller going chasing early. We'll see if he can climb out of this 0-2 count. Woodley 1 strike away from ending this first inning scoreless. Miller originally from Missouri, big Cardinals fan. The 0-2 is up and away to keep Miller alive. Attends Drury University. And he, just like Chris Gazaldo, a midseason PGCBL All-Star. The only 2 in the starting lineup today. It's fouled off down the first base side. Miller fighting with what was once an 0-2 count. Trying to get Ian Wang up in this inning. Wang, in 2 games against Batavia, has 6 hits. Would be great to get his bat up in this very first inning of work. Miller. The 1-2 pitch is outside again. Now 2s across the board. Graydon Miller knows the stakes for these Americans and looking to deliver as such. A win today and a win Tuesday clinches the Americans a playoff berth. 2-2 pitch is popped up into the shallow outfield. Backing up, Omar Carrera is into foul territory, but it goes into the Americans' bullpen area. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Graydon Miller. The righty, 3rd of 4 batters batting from the right-handed side against Woodley. Eric having to face a lot of same-handed matchups here. That plays to his advantage. 2-2 pitch is right down the third base line, but heads to the foul side. Hugging that line all the way down, but will not stay fair. Graydon Miller, one of the best bats in this Americans lineup for the last 2 seasons. Can he continue to work this count and get on base with 2 down and 1 on? 2-2 pitch again is low, but in there on the low edge for strike 3. Graydon Miller goes down looking to end the first inning. Eric Woodley on fire to start off this game despite the single given up. We'll send it to the bottom of the first after the break and give you the Muckdogs lineup.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Welcome back for the bottom of the first inning. The Batavia Muckdogs about to come up to bat. We'll give you their starting lineup. Tyler Castrotaro, as usual, in the leadoff spot, batting .339 with an .842 OPS. Braden Horton in center follows him up. Sean Mindas batting third in left field. Jackson Inman, the cleanup man, at third base. That top four has been pretty consistent for these Muckdogs over the last couple weeks. Omar Carreras, though, moving up to the 5-hole. He's been on fire for Batavia. James Bolton, the DH, still bats 6th. Jacob Vezko, the extra hitter, batting 7th. Justin Espinal, the switch hitter and American killer at first base. Kyle Vaughn in right field, batting 9th. And Cooper Fesh doing the catching to round things out. The Americans' starting pitcher in this game will be Matt Kasperwitz. Kasperwitz 0-1 with a .379 ERA and 9 strikeouts. This is only his second start of the season, but don't let that deceive you. Kasperwitz, the last time he pitched against Batavia, went 5 innings out of the bullpen in relief of C.J. Hurley, who struggled massively in his first inning that day, but it's a swing and a miss for strike 1 on Castrotaro to start this game. So 0-1 early. Another big cut and miss. Castrotaro going fishing early in this game. The product of Hofstra. .792 OPS and 8 homers over there. Hasn't homered for the Muckdogs, but similar .842 OPS. That's just outside on the low outside corner to make it 1-2 on this count. Tyler, 18 RBIs and one of the top Muckdogs in stolen bases, hence his spot in the order. That's up and in for ball 2. Some chin music to even up this count. Caspi looking for the strikeout to start out his day. Big cut and miss, and down goes Castrotaro to start off this game. And in this battle of SUNY Niagara pitchers, 3 combined strikeouts over the first inning or so of this game. Now Braden Horton coming up. Horton, one of the best hitters for these Muckdogs. A .352 batting average, second to just Sean Mindas, and a .1028 OPS. On the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Braden Horton, a product of Oklahoma. Competed in the Division I playoffs with the Sooners. Now here in Batavia, has had an excellent summer. Ones across the board to Braden on the low pitch from Kasperwitz. Aiden Klimzak expected to be the first pitcher out of the pen for the Americans. But Kasperwitz came in with a goal of going 5 innings, just like he did last time in Batavia. Americans were last here on July 5th, the end of a 3-game series. Americans lost that 2-1, and that is going to go way inside and hit Braden Horton. Horton takes his base. First 3 bag of the game for either side. It brings up Sean Mindas, the left fielder. So Kasperwitz facing a righty-heavy Muckdogs lineup, striking out the first righty he faces, and then hitting the first lefty that he goes up against. Now another righty, Sean Mindas. A .375 batting average, but started the year near .500. He's cooled off a bit since then. Similar trajectory this season to Grant Moore. Both had video game numbers to start the year. Still one of the best hitters on their teams, respectively, but have settled in And it's just in there for a strike on the outside edge. Mindas, the first non-D1 hitter in this Muckdogs order, but hasn't put a damper on his impact one bit. That's a pop foul out of play into the first base stands. Makes it 0-2. Early in this count, Matt Kasperwitz has the advantage on another right-handed batter. Muckdogs will have their second lefty of the game, Jackson Inman. After Mindas, he's on deck. 0-2 is lined into left field, right near the third base line. It drops foul. Gavin Boyle was chasing it down. Looked pretty clear he wasn't going to get there, but the good news for the Americans is that doesn't drop fair. Muckdogs looking to get something going in this bottom of the first inning and score first in this one. Receiving word over from the Muckdogs home broadcast that it's Jackson Inman's birthday. Big shout out to Nikita Lohman for continuing to provide us with all the updated information on the Muckdogs squad. Sharing the broadcast booth with Nikita and the Muckdogs crew today. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Matthew Kasperwitz has 2 outs, both of them on Ks. What a start for Matt despite the hit by pitch. But the batter he hit was a left-hander, and now Inman, the second lefty that Batavia brings up today. We'll have to see what Kasperwitz can do against Jackson. Product of Salisbury University, another D3 hitter alongside Mindas. 330 on the year with a 924 OPS. Takes strike 1 from Kasperwitz. Horton has a lead on first base. Another big base stealer for Batavia. Double-digit stolen base total for him. Right down the pike for strike 2. Can Matthew Kasperwitz get the final strike to end this inning scoreless? It's fouled off for now, so that strike 3 is going to have to wait. It's now been 4 combined strikeouts between Kasperwitz and Woodley, the 2 SUNY Niagara starters. Both right-handers, teammates at school, rivals in the PGCBL. Kasperwitz looking to take the lead with 3 strikeouts. That's low instead for ball 1. Horton headed for second on the foul ball, but had to go back. Eager for another steal. Braden Horton looking for second, but it's ball 2 outside, and Horton holds up. Muckdogs stolen base leaders. Tyler Castro-Tara with 13. Braden Horton with 10. 2s across the board here for Caspi. And that's a pop foul. Jackson Inman was down 0-2 in this count. He's been battling just how Graydon Miller did to end the first inning. Miller, the cleanup hitter for the Americans. Inman in that spot for Batavia. Will it be the same end result for Matthew Kasperwitz with 1 runner on base? Horton takes off, and it's a swing and a miss on the low pitch. Inman goes fishing, and he's retired to end this first inning. Kasperwitz and Woodley nearly identical in their first innings of work, striking out batters left and right. We'll send it to the top of the second after the break.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the second inning here from Batavia. It's scoreless through 5 combined strikeouts between the two starting pitchers, Eric Woodley and Matt Kasperwitz. Second inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. We'll also give you a look at the PGCBL at large. The Ironbacks took down the Doubledays 13-10 in Game 1 of that doubleheader. So the Doubledays looking likely to be in a playoff spot, but they are running out of time to get a home playoff game on their schedule. Pilots and Red Wings just starting out. That's at zeros. And Doubledays and Ironbacks getting ready for their second game of the doubleheader. Both games in Elmira against the Tarp Skunks have been canceled. That allowed the Muckdogs to clinch a playoff berth. Also allowed the Americans' magic number to go down to just 2 games. Huang fouls it off. Ian Huang looking for his 7th hit this season against Batavia in just his 3rd game against them. Huang to lead off this inning, followed up by Nick Past and Carm Panaro. An inside ball 2 to Ian. Both of these teams had exactly 4 batters up to the plate in the first inning. Huang fouls that off, a rocket down the third base line to even up the count at 2s for Eric Woodley. Huang at second base. He's split time with Connor Kiefer there, but Kiefer, in Moore's absence, playing center field for the Americans. A foul ball keeps Huang alive. Ian Huang against Jamestown came in as a defensive substitution. And in his first time up to the plate, a very strong at-bat in which he hit an RBI double. But before that double came, it was his ability to work the count that really impressed me, really impressed Americans fans. Near double digits in pitch count during his at-bat. And there's a line drive into center field. Horton's there. He makes the grab for out number 1. So Ian Huang with some nice contact after working the count, but this time doesn't work out for the Americans. And Nick Past up next. Past, the catcher for the team, batting .230 with a .730 OPS. Maybe the most impressive thing about that Ian Huang double the other day was the fact that it came up 1 run. The Americans had just retaken the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Ian Huang added more insurance on top of that for the Americans to make it 6-3 against Jamestown in the final game of the series. They went on to win by that score and avoid the sweep. But now against Batavia, Nick Past is down 2 strikes to Eric Woodley. Here's the 0-2, and it hits Nick Past. Nick Past has been the pitcher punching bag all season long. He has been hit more than any other American. It's kind of ridiculous at this point, the amount of times he's been beamed. That's his 15th hit by pitch. That's just 1 less than his strikeout total on the season. Unbelievable, and it's always on that right elbow. Panaro takes a strike down the pike. Carmen Panaro in right field for the Americans was the final hitter due up in this top of the second inning. .222 average, .775 OPS. He's a two-way player for this team. Big cut and miss to make it 0-2 to Carm. Bit of a cold spell for Panaro, but he's certainly had his moments. A big sac fly in Friday's game against Jamestown, a double down the line against Batavia on Tuesday. Big cut and miss there, and Panaro strikes out on 3 pitches. Carmen Panaro can strike him out on the bump, but striking out at the plate right there as Connor Kiefer comes up next. The center fielder making his first start in the outfield for the Americans all season. Played some outfield for Jamestown last season. more in right field than in center, but Connor Kiefer, I like him in center field because he has some great range from second base. That range could be put to amazing use in center. He made a play that some center fielders couldn't make against these Muckdogs on the 4th of July. Grant Moore was there for a ball in center field, but Connor Kiefer diving back from second, looking like Superman to make the catch himself. He's up 1-0 in this count, though. One of the stronger hitters for this team, batting .280 on the year. 1-0 is outside to put the count in Kiefer's favor. Kiefer's another guy who's been beamed a lot this season. 9 times he's been hit by the pitch. Doesn't quite compare to Nick Pass. Both of them took a beating on Monday against the Niagara Ironbacks. Kiefer sends it down the third base line. Foul for the first strike. Little later on the contact. And he would have had a nice hit there, but Connor Kiefer has the count in his favor nonetheless. Connor swings and misses on the 2-1 outside. He goes chasing a confident swing. And it's 2s across the board. Eric Woodley looking to K another in this game. Woodley already 3 strikeouts on the day. Tied up Matt Kasperowitz when he struck out Carm Panaro in this second inning. 2-2 pitch is up the middle for a base hit. It gets through, and it's first and second as Nick Pass takes second base. A seeing eye single for Connor Kiefer. Logan Stickler up next. The extra hitter, as we mentioned earlier in this game, he was robbed of 2 home runs over the course of the season. The first of those was in Niagara Falls against these Muckdogs. Skip Martinez, with a mere question about the call, had it overturned. Stickler, big cut and miss for strike 1 on Logan. As runners on first and second here, this would be a good time to get a home run that counts. Get himself some Johnny Ryan. Johnny Ryan giving a free case to every single American who hits a home run. That's down the third base line, foul to make it 0-2 on Logan. Stickler. Down 0-2 in this count, looking to avoid being the 4th strikeout victim of Eric Woodley. 9-hitter in this order. He'll turn the order around nonetheless, but a swing and miss for Logan ends the inning. At least the top of the inning. We'll send it to the bottom, see if the Muckdogs can strike first after the Americans stranded 2 on base in this second.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the bottom of the second inning. And in this second inning, we remind you that this season, you can get the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions at every single Americans home game. The Americans' next home game is an out-of-league game that will take place tomorrow against the Buffalo Diesel. Second time that Wolf and Cordero will face off in a game, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. That's tomorrow at the Sal. Be there or tune in on the broadcast to catch that game. And Matthew Kasperwitz back for his second inning of work. Omar Carreras will lead off this second for Batavia. James Bolton and Jacob Vezko round out the hitters due up for the Muckdogs. Omar Carreras, arguably the hottest hitter in this entire Muckdogs order right now. 304 batting average, 849 OPS, and 10 RBIs. Starting to get his stats up to where they were at Tuscaloosa. It's a fly ball in the left field on the first pitch. Boyle's under it to make the grab for out number 1. So a hard hit ball by Carreras, but not going to be enough in this second inning. Bolton, James Bolton, up to bat next. Product of SUNY Cortland, DHing for the Muckdogs today. Has experience behind the dish, but Cooper Fesh, the stronger defensive catcher, will be there for Batavia today. Outside for ball 1 to James. Bolton up to 304 on the year as well. That ties Omar Carreras in batting average. A 789 OPS. Just outside to make it 2-0. Bolton is a second-year Muckdog. Last year batted .380 for this team with 25 RBIs. He's up to 22 ribbies this season. Looking to exceed that total. That's right up the middle for a base hit. Bounces off the mound, near identical to Connor Kiefer's knock. And the Muckdogs have a runner on in this second inning. Jacob Vezko, the extra hitter, up next. Vezko sees a lot of team in right field for Batavia, but in this game, solely hitting for Batavia as Kyle Vaughn takes right. Vezko, another hot hitter for Batavia. He's .278 with a 729 OPS on the year. 8 RBIs, 4 of which have come since the last time these teams faced off. An outside ball 1 from Caspi with 1 down and 1 on. And 2 may be the real Americans' magic number, but 1 is the magic number here in this second inning for the Americans. Foul ball to put ones across the board. Speak of the devil. Justin Espinal on deck for Batavia. He has torn up the Americans all season long. It's his 3rd year with the Muckdogs. So he has been in this PGCBL longer than the Americans have existed. Line drive down the third base line for a base hit and more. Jacob Vezko headed for second, and James Bolton stops at third base. He was looking ready to head all the way around, but Skip Martinez gives him the stop sign. 2 runners in scoring position for Justin Espinal. And you know, if you've been watching this season, how well Justin has done against these Americans. A chance to do just that right here in the second inning as the Muckdogs look to strike first with 1 down. Espinal on the year batting .265 with a 686 OPS, but those stats inflated against Niagara Falls. Espinal, though, the only Muckdog to hit a home run this season. That did not come against the Americans. So certainly has shown his moments in his 3rd year with Batavia. 19 RBIs, has already exceeded his 11 RBI total from a summer ago. There's a liner into left field. Boyle's under at ease, now chasing it down. He didn't have it out of the gate, had to move for it, and it's a sac fly. Boyle eventually makes that grab, but at what cost? Runner on second base stays, but the runner on third, Bolton, scores to make it 1-0 Muckdogs. So Muckdogs all tied up with the Americans in the hit column, but in the run column, they have the early lead. Kasperwitz sends it low for strike 1. Kyle Vaughn, the next hitter for Batavia. Espinal, no hit off the Americans right there, but a successful sac fly made Gavin Boyle move for it. The foul ball right behind him, and that was such an interesting play for Gavin Boyle because Boyle thought he had it in left center, then had to run down into the near corners of left field, eventually made the grab, but not without allowing Bolton to score. Low and away for ball one. Kyle Vaughn in right field, the redshirt freshman out of the State College of Florida. 1-2 count. And there's a chopper foul. Keeps Vaughn alive here, but Matthew Kasprowitz looking for the final strike, final out of this inning. Would be his 4th strikeout of the day, would tie him up again with Eric Woodley. Been a back and forth battle between the two SUNY Niagara hurlers, both of them striking out batters left and right over these first 2 innings. Here's the 1-2, and it's a grounder right to Chris Gazaldo. 1 hops, and then sent to first base for out number 3. The Muckdogs go down, but score a run. We'll send it to the top of the 3rd after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the top of the 3rd inning. This 3rd inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, by Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Americans, and McDonald's. Every Americans home game, if they score 3 runs, everyone in the stands gets a free McCafe Frappe. McDonald's also recently came back with the snack wrap, and I am obsessed. I've already had 6 snack wraps since it came out. But Alan Ramos turns over the order for the Americans. 2nd time through, shows bunt, but pulls it back for ball 1. Americans and Muckdogs have batted exactly 9 hitters over the first 2 innings apiece. Big cut and miss. And it's 1-1 on Allen. 4 hitters for each team in the first inning, 5 hitters for each team in the second inning. The difference, the Americans only batting 9. The Muckdogs have a 10th hitter, Cooper Fesh. Foul ball for Alan Ramos, puts him down in the count after the early ball. Eric Woodley in his 3rd inning of work at 38 pitches headed into this inning, now at 41. Ramos, the grounder, picked up by Carreras a second, trying to beat this one out, but once again, will not get there in time. It's 1 down. That one right to Carreras, so understandable, even for the speedster Ramos, not to get there. But Gavin Boyle up next. He's due up in this inning alongside Chris Gazaldo. Boyle, 1 for 1 on the day. Had the first hit for the Americans. Right down the pike for strike 1 to Gavin. Woodley not afraid to attack against Gavin Boyle. Boyle's only home run against Batavia came against Eric in Niagara. There's a liner down the 3rd base line for a base hit. Gavin Boyle's 2 for 2 on the day. What a way to say goodbye to the slump. His best day since his PGCBL Player of the Week award, and what seems to be happening is that Gavin Boyle's day off from playing the field on Friday as well as the rest day yesterday has really made an impact on his performance. He's well rested and he is at his best in this game. A pair of singles already. Chris Gazaldo fouls it off for strike 1 with Boyle on base. Gazaldo struck out with Boyle on last time around. Looking to knock him in this time. PGCBL All-Star had the walk-off win over Batavia on Tuesday. Can he get it going here? Boyle takes off for second, but the foul ball cancels out the potential steal for Gavin. Saw that Woodley wasn't even looking his way and tried to take advantage. But Gazaldo, down 0-2 in this count, looking to recover and avoid his second strikeout. The pitch, fouled off again. Gazaldo hanging in there. Beautiful day for baseball here in Batavia. It's been right in the midst of the 70s all day long. Some of the best weather we've seen for Americans baseball all season long. And this crowd is here for it. 0-2 outside for ball one. What I've found across two games where the Bikers against child abuse have shown up, those Bikers bring in a crowd. Friday night in Niagara Falls, one of the best crowds all season, and now a packed house in Batavia 2 days later as the Bikers travel to Dwyer Stadium for this game. 1-2 pitch outside, and just like that, Gazaldo even in this count with one down and Gavin Boyle on base. Boyle, product of SUNY Niagara, was teammates with Eric Woodley this spring, now headed to Southern Indiana after the PGCBL season, but it's 2-2 for Chris as he fouls another one off. Eric Woodley looking for another strikeout, would be his fifth of the day in just 3 innings. Here's the 2-2 as Boyle takes off on the ball. He gets there in time. Stolen base for Gavin Boyle. This count is filled up. Never mind, they are going to call him out. Gavin Boyle picked off second base. A nice pickoff by Fesh to catch Boyle stealing. But Chris Gazaldo will take Boyle's spot on first base with a walk. Graydon Miller up next. Americans out hitting the Muckdogs. Now looking to match them in the scoreboard at the very least. Miller 0 for 1 on the day. He was another one of those strikeout victims of Eric Woodley. And Woodley bringing the heat right away for strike one on Graydon. Product of Drury University with another chance to advance a runner. Chris Gazaldo, the base runner this time around. It's outside to make it 1-1. So Miller not in the 0-2 hole the same way he was last time up to bat. Good sign for him to get something going. Had 3 hits the last time he faced Batavia. This time, though, it's popped up into the shallow infield. Inman and Castrotaro in there. Inman makes the grab from third base to retire the side. Americans sent down despite 2 base runners on at separate times. Gavin Boyle was caught stealing. We'll send it to the bottom of the third after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the third inning. We'll give you a look at the current pitch counts for the 2 pitchers in this game. Matthew Kasperwitz is at 33 pitches through 2 innings. And Eric Woodley is at 55 through 3. Muckdogs usually only let their starters go about 75 pitches. And Kasperwitz back out for a third inning of work. We're going to keep his pitch count down here. No score changes across the PGCBL aside from in this game as the Muckdogs have taken a 1-0 lead. Auburn and the Ironbacks still tied in their second game of the doubleheader. Pilots and Red Wings still scoreless as well. They're just getting started over in Geneva. Elmira and Jamestown had a doubleheader set for today. Poor field conditions for Elmira canceled those games, and it's a foul ball down the first base line to start things off for Cooper Fesh. Fesh will be followed up in this inning by the top two in the Muckdogs order, Tyler Castracharo and Braden Horton. So Fesh effectively serving as a second leadoff for these Muckdogs. Kasperwitz with the 0-1, and it's down the pike for strike two. Caspi not afraid to attack against a strong hitter in Cooper Fesh. 337 hitter with an 885 OPS, and Kasperwitz attacking the zone nonetheless. Ground ball picked up by Gazaldo at third. The throw across the field is in time for out number one. So one down early for Batavia, and it's right back to the top of the order. Tyler Castracharo, number one in the order, number one on his jersey, and looking to be the first runner on base for the Muckdogs in this inning. Tyler 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch, a cut and miss. Caspi has the early count in his favor. Castracharo struck out his last time up, looking to avoid that same fate the second time around. That's a liner. Gets past Ian Wang into the outfield for a base hit. Tyler Castracharo, indeed, the first base runner for Batavia. That's the third hit for the Muckdogs. Ties up the Americans in that column. Already have the lead in runs. And Braden Horton, the center fielder, with one on and one out. A tough customer for Matthew Kasperwitz. And Sean Mindos, another one on deck. This is the heart of the Batavia order. Not going to be easy for Kasperwitz the second time through. Struck out 3 of these first 4 batters back in the first inning, but as the game goes on, things could get harder for Caspi. And there's a liner into right field for another base hit. Headed towards third, it's Tyler Castracharo. Runners on the corners for Batavia. Muckdogs have their 4th hit of the day, and they are threatening in this third inning. Matthew Kasperwitz struggling once again in a start. The last time Kasperwitz started a game, the Auburn Double Days beat the Americans 11-5. Americans don't have to see the Double Days again in the regular season, but chance they'll face off in the playoffs depending on how the seeding shakes out. It's looking likely, with 1 league left in the season, that the 2.5 game ahead Muckdogs will be the 1 seed. The real question is how the 2-3-4 shake out. Pop up into the shallow outfield. Huang backing up and now moving over. He makes the grab. A nice track down for Ian. He was not in the right spot initially, but motions for it and makes the catch. It's 2 down. Matthew Kasperwitz with the chance to strand these runners on first and third as Jackson Inman, the lefty, comes up. Inman, a strikeout victim of Kasperwitz. Kasperwitz had 3 strikeouts back in the first inning on these top 4, none since. The only one of the top 4 batters that Caspi did not strike out the first time through is Braden Horton. Horton 1 for 1 on the day with a single and a hit by pitch. But the foul ball for strike 1 on Inman here. Inman, the lefty, looking to tack on a 22nd RBI, possibly even more. If he goes extra bases here, could have 2 or 3 RBIs. And pickoff attempt on first, unsuccessful. Slide safe for Braden Horton. Sean Mindos was retired for out number 2. Castracharo and Horton on the corners. Tyler looking to score from third with Inman up to bat, down 0-1. Caspi delivers on the 0-1 pitch. It's another foul ball. Horton had second base but has to go back. Matthew Kasperwitz 1 strike away from his first strikeout since inning number 1 and would come against a familiar customer in Jackson Inman. On this bright Sunday afternoon, the Muckdogs looking to take a multi-run lead over the Americans. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's just outside on the breaking ball. Horton takes second that time around. He has another steal to add to his tally. So now 2 runners in scoring position. No force play available at first base, but just 1 out required for these Americans to get out of the inning. Can Kasperwitz do it with the K? Instead, a pop-up into foul territory on the left side. That goes out of play. Keeps Inman alive. Jackson Inman. A big moment for Batavia. Can blow this game open in the 3rd inning of work. Up for just a second time. Looking to avoid the second strikeout and knock in these Batavia runners. Horton and Castrotaro in scoring position, and it's inside. A wild pitch. Hits Inman. So no runners allowed to come in, but the bases are now juiced for Omar Carreras, who is on fire for these Muckdogs. 0 for 1 today, but an amazing recent stretch for Omar, and Kasperwitz has nowhere to put him. Been a tough 3rd inning for Kasperwitz. Might as well call him Houdini if he can get out of this jam. It's about the toughest it's been for him all game and arguably all season. Upstairs, ball 1. Carreras, the second baseman, a late joinee of these Muckdogs. Got a real dog here in the press box right now. Apologies if you hear any barking, but the 1-0 pitch is upstairs. Matthew Kasperwitz had some great command of the strike zone early in the at-bat against Inman. Now struggling to find that command back. 2 consecutive balls to start off this at-bat with Omar. Now down the pike but high. Kasperwitz looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk. If he walks Carreras here, a run comes in. The Muckdogs lead 2-0. 2 down. This is a crucial out for Matthew Kasperwitz. Can he get out of the jam? No, he cannot. Ball 4 inside. Castrotaro scores. Horton to 3rd. Inman to 2nd, and Carreras on base. Muckdogs lead 2-0. Matthew Kasperwitz has given both of those up in just 3 innings of work. More specifically, 2 2/3. He still needs the final out in this inning. Caspi up to 49 pitches in 3 innings. Both pitchers struggling with pitch count despite high strikeout totals. That finds the outside corner for strike 1, and just like that, Kasperwitz's command of the strike zone is back against Bolton. James Bolton. Product of Cortland down 0-1 in this count early. That one further low and away, but still manages to find the corner for strike 2. Here's another 2-strike count for Kasperwitz. He's had a lot of those since the 1st inning, but his last K was on Jackson Inman the first time through the order. Can he strike out another here? Yes, he can. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Matthew Kasperwitz gets out of the inning with just 1 run allowed. We'll send it to the top of the 4th after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the top of the fourth inning. Ian Huang to kick things off for the Americans in this fourth. Batavia leads 2-0. The Americans looking to come back, and Ian Huang gets hit on the very first pitch of the inning from Eric Woodley. Takes first base. We'll give you these fourth inning sponsors. Fourth inning brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan Soda, and by Coca-Cola, the official beverage provider down at concessions for the Americans. Nick passed with a runner on first as he comes up to bat for the second time today. He was hit the first time around. And now the second time around, Wang whacked. Oh, 1 pitch. Pass, takes it just on the outside corner for strike 2. Nick passed. Looking to advance the runner and takes one on the breaking ball low and away. Staying alive with the 0-2 count. Ian Huang has the lead on first. On base against these Muckdogs, as he has been many times now. And there's a grounder to the shortstop, Castrataro. Throw to second in time, but too hard for Carreras to turn the double play. The fielder's choice retires one, but Nick passed, taking the spot of Wang on first. 1 down and 1 on. Carmen Panaro up next for the second time today. Struck out his first time up. And it's down and in for ball 1. Panaro with the count in his favor. It's a pop-up. Ends up more of a deeper fly ball into center. But now Horton has to come in to make the grab for out number 2. And now Connor Kiefer up for the Americans, the final hope to advance Nick past. The Americans have had some runners on in this game, but have yet to score a run. Kiefer with a chance to advance the runner and get his second hit of the day. Already has a single. No extra base hits for the Americans yet today. It's inside for ball 1 on Connor. That would have been his 10th hit by pitch had it gone a little further in. Kiefer has passed on first. Just outside to put the count further in Kiefer's favor at 2-0. Big hitters count for Connor. And another one low, but finds the low edge of the zone for Woodley. Woodley is at 65 pitches in this fourth inning, looking to extend it into the fifth against these Americans. Upstairs, and Kiefer keeps the count in his favor. Looking to take the walk here and put runners on first and second for Logan Stickler again. Stickler struck out the first time up. Would look for a different fate the second time around. There's a liner down the third base line, cut off by Inman. The throw to first is in time for out number 3. Hard hit ball. Jackson Inman makes a great play to end the top of the fourth. We'll be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Americans would like you to follow them on all their social media platforms this season. You can connect with the Americans like never before with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Matthew Kasperwitz getting ready for his 4th inning of work. And Jacob Vezko, the first customer here. Vezko finds himself 1 for 1 on the day and fouls that off for strike 1. Caspi has the count in his favor early against Vezko. The 0-1 low and away to even things up. Jacob with the count even. It's another one low and away. Jacob has the count in his favor after an early strike. That's inside and a close shave as Vezko has to back up his legs to take ball 3. Looking to take the walk. Kasperwitz loaded the bases last inning and gave up a run there. But that finds the outside edge of the zone, fills up this count. Matthew looking to recover. After the early strike, it was 3 consecutive balls. Here's the payoff, and that gets in there for strike 3. A close call, but catches the outside edge of the zone, and down goes Jacob Vezko for Caspi's 4th strikeout of the day. Justin Espinal up next. That's Caspi's 5th strikeout. Espinal, the third baseman. Or first baseman, rather. There's a liner, and it drops in front of Kiefer for the base hit and more. Espinal's headed towards second. Connor Kiefer came close there, but the adjustment to center field is just a bit too much for him right there. Kyle Vaughn up next. Justin Espinal, 1 for 1 on the day, a sac fly, and now on second base with a double. 5th hit of the day for Batavia. And now it's a runner in scoring position with 1 down for Kyle Vaughn, who takes ball 1 low and away. Caspi. We're going to strand the runner on second. We'll need 2 consecutive outs to do so, most likely. There's a deep shot into left field. Boyle backing up. And it's foul to even up the count. One's across the board. A rocket down the third base line. Lands in foul territory. Caspi checks back now, delivers. It's 2-1. Has to monitor Justin Espinal on second base. The American killer does it again with a knock into center that Kiefer had to come in for and could not make the grab. 2-1 pitch, big cut and miss. The count is even. Vaughn chases the low pitch. Cooper Fesh on deck. Muckdogs looking to complete their second time through this order. Turn it around to Tyler Castrataro for the third time today. 2-2 pitch is fouled off. Kasperwitz sends it low, and it's now a full count. Matthew Kasperwitz, a big payoff pitch coming up. And it's a high chopper, picked up by Gazaldo. No, it goes over him. Ramos had it, but can't get the throw off in time. It's runners on first and third with still just one down. Will be ruled the infield single on a hard hit ball. Cooper Fesh, the lefty, to round out this Muckdogs order the second time through. Pickoff attempt at first base. Unsuccessful. Lead on first base. And it's down and in for ball one on this count. Kasperwitz checks on his runner on first base. He has a clear view of Justin Espinal at third. Foul ball down the third base line, puts ones across the board again. Kasperwitz has given up back-to-back knocks to Batavia. Looking to finally get that second out, possibly even a third out. He has a runner on first base in the form of Vaughn. Could play to his benefit here. The pitcher's best friend comes into play. It's a high ball, 2. Puts the count in Fesh's favor. Cooper Fesh 0 for 1 on the day. Here's the 2-1. Another foul. Both strikes for Caspi this at bat have come on foul balls. Things are all evened up. Lead on first base for Vaughn. He has second base open. Kasperwitz keeps checking on him, though. 2-2 pitch is outside and fills up this count again. Last full count, there was an infield single for Kyle Vaughn. Can Cooper Fesh do the same, or will Matt Kasperwitz retire him for out number 2? Here's the payoff pitch. It's a liner into left field. Gavin Boyle makes the grab, but tagging up for home is Justin Espinal. He's going to score. Espinal had the sac fly in the second inning, and now he scores on one to make it 3-0 Dogs. In this bottom of the fourth inning, Matthew Kasperwitz has given up a run in 3 consecutive innings. Kasperwitz looking for the final out here, which is one runner on base after Espinal tagged up and scored. Foul ball for strike one on Tyler Castrataro. Muckdogs officially in their third time through the order. We'll see how much longer Kasperwitz lasts to see this third time through. 2 down. Caspi sends it low to even up the count. Aiden Klimzak, the first reliever expected for the Americans, starting to warm up in that bullpen. Just doing some preliminary stretching, not throwing just yet. Caspi with the count even. Big cut and miss for Castrataro. Matthew Kasperwitz has already struck out Tyler once. Can he do it again? Tyler's 1 for 2 on the day. The only time he's been retired came on the strikeout swinging against Matthew Kasperwitz back in the first inning. Caspi the 1-2 pitch, and it's grounded. Nobody is there. Ian Wang was over covering second base, and it's a base hit to put runners on the corners again. Muckdogs have 7 hits and looking for run number 4 in this game. 3 of those hits have come in this inning alone. Braden Horton with a chance to do something big here. Castrataro has a 2-hit game. Horton 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Can get on base for the 3rd time today if he does here. Kasperwitz looking to get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed. He has not allowed multiple in an inning yet. Looking to keep it that way. He's been much more effective out of the pen this season than as a starting pitcher. But the Americans gave him another shot after he went 5 against the Muckdogs in relief last time here. Ball and a strike as that goes right down the pike to Horton. Kasperwitz with the attack when Horton least expected it. Muckdogs mascot Dewey walking around the stands. He's briefly injured, but back off the IL. Just outside to make it 2-1 on Braden. Evens up the count. 2s across the board for Braden Horton. Looking to add to his RBI tally. None on the day yet, but 15 on the season. Matthew Kasperwitz looking for strikeout number 6 of the day. Would be the first time against Horton. Instead, an outside ball 3 headed for second base is Castrataro, and the throw goes wild. Kyle Vaughn scores. The Muckdogs with their first multi-run inning against Matthew Kasperwitz. The errant throw scores the run. Batavia is up 4-0 with a runner in scoring position in the form of Castrataro. Braden Horton with the chance to drive him in as well. Muckdogs having a field day. The Americans with a win here can clinch the season series. Swing and a miss for Braden Horton. And Kasperwitz does get his 6th strikeout, but at what cost? We'll send it to the top of the 5th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Dan. That's better.
We bring you back for the 5th inning here at Dwyer Stadium. Logan Stickler to kick things off for the Americans. They're down 4-0. Looking to climb back in this game. They're no stranger to comebacks against these Muckdogs, as made clear by the last matchup between these teams, in which the Americans got their 4th win over Batavia of the season. Logan Stickler has a ball on the count. And another right there. This 5th inning is brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. You can call 716-870-0753 for expert service. Stickler has taken 3 consecutive balls from Eric Woodley. Can he take the 4-pitch walk here and turn over the order for the Americans? Yes, he can. Ball 4 up and away. Stickler takes first base. Alan Ramos up next. The Americans looking to get on the board after 4 runs allowed to Batavia in 4 innings for Matthew Kasperwitz. Of those 4 runs, every single one has been earned. Will inflate his ERA, which was at 3.79 headed into the game. Ramos up, Boyle on deck. The Americans looking to rally back. It's an outside ball, 1 to Allen. Ramos, number 4, with the Americans down 4. We're going to cut that lead. Stickler has a lead on first base. 1-0 is in there on the outside corner to even up the count. Ramos doesn't bite. Stickler takes his lead back. Looking to advance here. Ramos, the dribbler, to Inman at third, trying to beat it out again. Ramos has had 3 groundouts on this day, but it's a productive one right there. Logan Stickler advances to second. And now it's Gavin Boyle with a runner in scoring position. Boyle came in batting .253 with an .813 OPS. All those stats should go up after this game. Boyle already 2 for 2. This will be a great time for hit number 3. Knock in Logan Stickler. Almost guarantee that if you get extra bases here, but it's ball 1 to Gavin on the high pitch from Woodley. Eric Woodley's only out so far this inning has come on the ground ball, but he's struck out 4 on the day. Kasperwitz now ahead of him in Ks with 6. But has given up 4 runs. Strikeouts are not everything in baseball. It's a foul ball by Boyle to make it 1s across the board. So Kasperwitz, despite 6 strikeouts, has given up 4 runs. Woodley behind at 4 strikeouts, but has no earned runs. Also has helped Woodley's pitch count. Originally, Muckdogs weren't sure if he'd go for inning number 5, but here he is. Liner into right field, but jumped and caught by Justin Espinal, and safely back into second as Logan Stickler with 2 down. Graydon Miller looking to knock him in. Well, first it's Chris Gazaldo. Boyle and Miller have batted back-to-back most of the season, but Gazaldo in between them. 2 down. And Logan Stickler looking to come home from second. There's a liner into right field, and Vaughn chases it down to make the grab for round number 3. Muckdogs get 3 outs in the field, send the Americans down despite the runner on base. We'll send it to the bottom of the inning after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game starting at just $175. Sign up online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. There's a dribbler down the third base line. It is ruled foul for strike one. So it's Sean Mindas to kick things off for the Muckdogs this inning. He'll be followed up by Jackson Inman and Omar Carreras. Carreras moved up to the 5-hole after a very hot week for the Muckdogs. Carreras came into the game 8 for his last 13 with 5 extra base hits. Today 0 for 1 with a walk. That'll catch the low edge of the zone for strike 2. Sean Mindas looking to avoid the 3-pitch strikeout. Matt Kasperwitz looking for K number 7. Mindas has already struck out once against Caspi. There it's going to be a liner into deep left field. Boyle backing up. Doesn't have to move much to make the grab for out number 1. So no K for Caspi, but Gavin Boyle helps him out in left. Matthew Kasperwitz looking to go 5 innings still in this game, but has given up 4 runs in the process. He's up to 85 pitches on the day compared to Woodley's 78. Aiden Klimzak now throwing in the pen for the Americans. And grounder right to the second baseman, Huang. It's bobbled, but the throw is in time anyways. 2 down. Inman retired on the ground out. Huang avoids the error after the early bobble. Omar Carreras up next. Carreras, the second baseman for Batavia. 0 for 1 with a walk, as I mentioned. 8 for his last 14, though. And it's just outside and low for ball 1. Kasperwitz looks to get out of this inning in 1-2-3 fashion. It'll be the first time that happens today. Fly ball, shallow center. Kiefer backing up, makes the grab for out number 3. Connor Kiefer completes the 3rd out to retire the side for the Muckdogs. We'll send it to the top of the 6th after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the top of the 6th inning. As you can see, a kids run on the field, just like it happens in Niagara Falls at the end of the 5th inning, happens here in Batavia. The only difference is Dewey leads the kids run here as opposed to Yankee Doodle Dan, the in-stands host over in Niagara Falls. In addition, kids running from 3rd base to 1st base instead of the other way around. This kids run with a packed crowd. About the biggest I've seen for a kids run in all of KNUSA sports. This 6th inning is brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robins, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. Wegmans, the sponsor of the Americans' own kids run. That'll pick back up tomorrow in Niagara Falls when the Americans host the Buffalo Diesel in an out-of-league game. First pitch at 6:30 from the barbershop. It's Wolf versus Cordero, who will come out on top the second time around. It was actually a pretty close game despite a men's league team going up against the Americans in Paul Wolf's Diesel. The Americans had positions players pitching and a catcher who was there for the day. Dom Polillo caught the first game against the Diesel. Polillo expected to be back for tomorrow's game against the Diesel. Will exclusively catch in out-of-league games for the Americans. Woodley sends that on the fastball, and it's fouled off by Graydon Miller for strike one. Miller followed up by Wang and Pass in this Americans order, all due up in the top of the sixth inning as the Americans look to get on the scoreboard, break up the donuts over that top half. One's on the count to Graydon. Miller lines that foul down the first base line, and it's 1-2. Goes over the stands into the grass outside Dwyer Stadium. 1-2 from Woodley here. Miller lines that down the third base line for the base hit and more. Miller is going to head towards second. This will be close, but he gets there standing up. Graydon Miller has been tagged out on the throw a couple times going for doubles, but right there he gets the two-bagger for his 8th hit of the day. Right down the third base line, and he's on for these Americans. Miller officially has 4 hits in his last 2 games against Batavia, and Ian Huang has 6 hits over the course of 3 games against Batavia. Looking to add the first of this game right here. 4-hit game, the first game against these Americans, and then the second time he played them, against these Muckdogs, rather. And the second time against him, had another 2 hits. It's a low ball 1 to Ian. Graydon Miller on second base. Huang with high stakes, the chance to knock Graydon in. Huang 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch in this game. Woodley, the 1-0 pitch. Inside and low again, nearly hits Ian a second time. It's 2-0. Woodley seems to be pitching around Huang here. Nick Pass on deck. Pass has been on base twice today, a fielder's choice and a hit by pitch. The 2-0 from Woodley is way inside, nearly hits Huang again. Woodley's stuff has gone a bit wild in this 6th inning. Not often Muckdogs pitchers go this long in a start, but Eric is up to 85 pitches. Early action in the Muckdogs bullpen starting up as Woodley likely in his last inning of work. Down the pike for strike 1. Woodley attacks as Huang unlikely to have the green light on a 3-0 count. The reliever warming up for Batavia is Cole Taylor. Taylor made a start earlier this week, but has seen time in the bullpen as well. The grounder down the first base line off of Espinal's glove. Huang reaches first. Miller scores. The Americans are on the board. 1-0 Niagara Falls. We'll wait for the call, hitter error. But nonetheless, Ian Huang on first base. The Americans cut the lead to 3. Huang has gotten on base on 2 separate occasions. Now the meeting on the mound with Eric Woodley. This could be it. Huang gets credit for the single. 4th Americans hit today. Or rather 5th. We'll see if the Muckdogs make a change here after 5 innings plus of Eric Woodley. Taylor continues to throw in the pen. Likely Cooper Romick serving as bullpen catcher with Fesh and Bolton playing in the game. And Woodley will stay on for the time being. Cole Taylor, the reliever warming up, has a 7.98 ERA on the year. Nick Past has a runner on first. Looking to drive in more for these Americans after Huang has the RBI single for his 7th hit off of these Muckdogs. Outside ball 1 to Nick Past. And that is sent over the head of Tyler Castrotaro. Hops right over him, and it's a base hit for Nick Past. My goodness, looked like a routine grounder, and then takes a giant hop. Is that a baseball or a Mexican jumping bean? My goodness. Runners on first and second, and Carmen Panaro has 2 on with nobody out. Couple of unlucky plays for Batavia, but I mean the Americans have gotten their runners on and stranded them all day long. Just need to get some momentum going. Swing and a miss for Carmen Panaro there. It's strike 1. The Americans have scored a run in this inning, but just 3 for 14 with runners on base in this game. Muckdogs sit at 4 for 10 with runners on. 2 ducks on the pond, and it's a foul tip by Panaro to make it 0-2 to him. Panaro's already struck out once in this game. 0 for 2 on the day. Product of Niagara University, plays both ways for this team, the lefty hitter and pitcher. Closed a couple games against Batavia this season. 0-2 pitch is low for ball 1. Panaro with a big opportunity here. Had a double the last time against these Muckdogs. Now has 2 runners on. The lead runner is Ian Huang. Right behind him, Nick Pass. Both with hits on some strange bounces. One out of the glove of Espinal, the other off the lip of the grass. These balls have some real bounce on them today. Panaro looking to climb out of the 1-2 hole. Takes one outside to even things up. Panaro had a sac fly against Jamestown. Nearly left the ballpark. It was right at the warning track. Could have had a grand slam for the second of the American season. Another one on the breaking ball outside to fill up this count. Eric Woodley once had Panaro 0-2. Now the count's all filled up. Woodley looking for the first out of this inning and the final strike in this at-bat. Checks back on Huang. Now the payoff pitch is upstairs and walks the bases loaded. Carmen Panaro on first. He represents the tying run for these Americans. Connor Kiefer up next represents the go-ahead. Eric Woodley's day is officially done. Cole Taylor, pitcher with a 7.98 ERA, will have to get the Muckdogs out of the jam with bases loaded and nobody out. His first customer, Connor Kiefer, who's 1 for 2 on the day. The Americans with a chance to battle back in this game. Cole Taylor will be the reliever as Eric Woodley's day is done. 5 innings plus 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So a solid day from Eric. But more earned runs could be added to his tally depending on how Cole Taylor can respond in this jam. Taylor, a product of Columbia State, alongside Muckdogs starter Pablo Sainz. So Cole Taylor warming up with the catcher Cooper Fesh. We'll take a brief break from the audio as that happens. Americans have Connor Kiefer up when we're back. We bring you back. In this top of the 6th inning, the Americans have the bases juiced with nobody out to face a new pitcher, Cole Taylor. Connor Kiefer, the first customer, is 1 for 2 on the day. Came in batting .280. It's one of the biggest bats for these Americans with a big opportunity. He represents the go-ahead run. Low and away for ball 1. Americans scored their first run in this inning. Ian Huang with a single in the infield to knock in Graydon Miller, who had the leadoff double. Foul tip for Kiefer to even up the count at once. Taylor has seen a mix of starts and relief appearances for Batavia. Has 12 strikeouts and 2 wins, but ERA is also up at 7.98, so he's had mixed results over the course of the season. 1-1 pitch on number 1 is low in the dirt for ball 2. Cooper Fesh with the block there. Kiefer up in this count. Looking to get on base for the second time today. And this third time through the order. Inside, it's a close shave on Kiefer to make it 3-1. Connor Kiefer has done a good job getting up in counts all day long today. Can he get his second hit right here with the 3-1 count? It bounces in the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Ball 4 for Connor Kiefer. And I mean, Ian Huang would have scored anyways. But the Americans have a second run on the board, and now the go-ahead run is on base. Connor Kiefer on first base, with Panaro on second and Past on third. Logan Stickler with the chance to do something great right here. He's been robbed of 2 homers on the season, so clearly has the home run power. Both of those came at Sal Magley, but Dwyer Stadium, not all that different dimensionally. 0-1 on the count. It's high to even things up. Logan, a strikeout and a walk so far. Could be a true 3 outcomes hitter in this game with a bomb. In there on the low edge of the zone. Cole Taylor has Stickler down to his final strike. Alan Ramos on deck. The Americans looking to score some more with these bases juiced. Already have 1 bases loaded run. Upstairs to even up the count again. Logan Stickler, the rising freshman, headed to York College of Pennsylvania in the fall. Another rising freshman in Ramos on deck. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Stickler, the first strikeout victim of Cole Taylor. 1 down with the bases still juiced. Alan Ramos, the next customer. Ramos with a trio of groundouts in this game. His blazing speed not enough to break those up thus far. We'll see what he can do here. If not for the runner on third, I'd maybe argue for the bunt here to advance the runners on first and second, but would have needed a sac fly from Stickler for that to make sense. Strike 1 on Alan Ramos to start out this at-bat. Taylor finding his command of the zone, allowing just 1 run since he came in so far. It's inside to put 1s across the board. The run charged to Eric Woodley, but occurred when Taylor was in the game. The pitch is a high chopper right down that first base line. It stays fair. Ramos has a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Ramos into second. Alan Ramos ends up with his first extra base hit of the entire season. The Americans tie it up at 4. What a knock for Alan. RBIs 11 and 12 on the Ramos 2-bagger. That's 2 doubles in this inning alone for the Americans. Graydon Miller led it off with a double, and now Ramos to knock in 2 runs and tie up this game. The Americans have officially tied the Muckdogs in the run column and the hit column. My goodness, how things can change in just one inning. Chris Gazaldo was the hero on Tuesday evening. The chance to give the Americans the lead here with 2 runners in scoring position. What a rally for the Americans. Never a dull game against these Muckdogs. 1 down, 2 on, and there's a ground ball right down the third base line. But it's a double play for the Muckdogs. Out at home, out at first. The Americans had runners on second and third, but this game remains tied. We'll send it to the bottom of the 6th after the break. The Americans with a nice rally to even up the score.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the bottom of the 6th inning. Aiden Klimzak into pitch for Matthew Kasperwitz. Kasperwitz went 5 strong, giving up 4 runs. Klimzak set to face these Muckdogs on the season. He's 3-0 with a 0.79 ERA. And an interesting note in all the chaos, Gavin Boyle was intentionally walked before the Chris Gazaldo at bat back in that top of the 6th. That loaded the bases, and that allowed for the Muckdogs to turn the double play and prevent more runs for coming in from the Americans. This inning for Batavia, as the Muckdogs look to retake the lead, will be led off by Bolton. That's James Bolton, the DH. Bolton is 1 for 2 on the day. Sends it foul to start things off in this at-bat with Klimzak. Aiden Klimzak, outside of the 2-way player Carmen Panaro, has a team low ERA for the Americans. Breaking ball will stay just outside and low. Evens up the count at 1s. Klimzak forces another foul. Bolton looking to climb out of the early 1-2 hole. He's been battling in this count thus far. Klimzak. The 1-2 pitch is grounded right to Ramos at short. The throw to first is there for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down for Batavia. It's Jacob Vezco and Justin Espinal also due up in this inning. Vezco, the Dayton product, comes up now. He's a second-year Muckdog. Came in today batting .278, and he's 1 for 2 on the day, so that average looking to continue increasing for Vezco. Klimzak got his first out in just 4 pitches, but a low away ball 1 to Vezco. Muckdogs brought back a trio of outfielders from last season. Mindos, Hammond, and Vezco typically lined them from left to right last season. Vezco has seen a lot of time in right field, but Kyle Vaughn there today. Vezco's the extra hitter. Braden Horton also in center. Travis Hammond been more of a platoon bat for Batavia this season. The 2-0 pitch just outside. 3 consecutive balls from Klimzak, looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk. See if he attacks the zone on this 3-0 pitch, knowing Vezco's unlikely to have that green light. Here's the pitch, and it is just outside. Vezco flips his bat, takes the walk. So 1 on, 1 out. Justin Espinal, the American killer, up to bat next. He's had extra bases already today. He's 1 for 1 with a sac fly. Came around to score on a sac fly as well. So he's been on both ends of the sacrifice for these Muckdogs. Sac fly is responsible for 2 of the 4 Muckdogs runs in this game. Espinal batting from the left side as he has been to face Klimzak, but a switch hitter can also bat righty. No lefties available for the Americans today. C.J. Hurley pitched on Friday. Joe Chaya been away from the team of late. 5 consecutive balls from Klim, but the swing and miss as Espinal chases the low strike 1. 1s across the board. And a runner on first for Batavia. Justin Espinal looking for his 2nd hit of the day. Only time he's been retired, it knocked in a run. Pickoff attempt on first, unsuccessful. Vezco hangs on. Keeps the runner on for Espinal. 1-1 pitch is inside and hits the batter. Espinal hit by the pitch. Getting on for a 2nd time in a 2nd different way today. 2 ducks on the pond for Kyle Vaughn. Vaughn 1 for 2. Aiden Klimzak with an early struggle here. Klimzak, runs allowed by him are far and few between. Looking to avoid the run here. And it's a liner in left field foul territory. Kyle Vaughn has been smoking the ball today, but keeps fouling him off. Aiden Klimzak in 14 2/3 inning, just 1 run allowed. The 0-1 pitch is a fly ball into deep left field. Boyle backing up. It's in foul territory. And 2 strikes on 2 rockets from Kyle Vaughn. Holy moly. Vaughn giving Klimzak a scare early on. Klim looking for strikeout number 8 on the season. Foul tip keeps Vaughn alive. Much different from those first 2 foul balls. Just amazing. Here in baseball, how many different ways a foul ball can go. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Klim, the Carson Newman product, with 2 on and 1 down. Here's the 0-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. Kyle Vaughn goes down hacking. And Aiden Klimzak with his first strikeout of the game. Here comes the final hitter in the Muckdogs order, Cooper Fesh, up for the third time. Fesh 0 for 1 with an RBI. Had the sac fly to knock in Espinal. And down and in, but finds the corner for strike one. Cooper Fesh looking to give these Muckdogs their lead back after a 4-run rally tied things up between these teams in the top of the 6th inning. Klim the 0-1. And as I was saying earlier, just 1 run allowed in 14 2/3 innings for Aiden headed into this game. Now up to 15 1/3 with the 2 batters retired in this inning. 1-1 pitch fouled off. Klimzak back up in this count. 1 strike away from retiring the side. Muckdogs have 2 base runners. Neither of them came on hits. Americans and Dogs tied at 7 hits apiece. Klimzak, the 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball outside to put 2s across the board. Batavia with the chance for at least 1 RBI. They have a runner on second in scoring position. Swing and a miss, though. And Aiden Klimzak strikes out 2 in a row to retire the side. The Americans keep this tied at 4. We'll send it to the 7th inning in this nail-biter of a game. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bring you back for the top of the 7th inning. Evan Hollinsworth coming out of the pen for the Muckdogs. And a very strange stat line the last time he faced these Americans. Also the last time he pitched. Did not record a single out. Did not get charged with a single hit or run. Or rather, single run. But gave up the 2-run walk-off single to Chris Gazaldo. Both the runs were charged to Garrett Beaver. So Hollinsworth left that game without a scratch on his ERA. But he was looking down after that one. Headed out of Sal Magley. Looking for revenge against these Americans in the 7th inning. A much better situation with the bases empty. Americans had all 9 batters up in the 6th inning when they rallied for 4 runs, and Graydon Miller back up to take ball 1 here. Miller lines it right to Jackson Inman for out number 1. Graydon retired on just 2 pitches. And the hard line drive that got through for a double last time around, but Jackson Inman has learned. And Ian Huang Bats from the right side for the first time today to face the southpaw Hollinsworth. Hollinsworth a 3.86 ERA on, or 3.66 ERA, excuse me, on the season. That's outside to Huang for ball one on the breaking ball. Huang, a high chopper. Castrotaro picks it up at short. The throw is in time. A nice stretch by Espinal, and it's 2 down quickly for these Americans. Nick passed. Takes a strike on the breaking ball there from Hollinsworth. Breaking ball working better as Hollinsworth settles in. He's already retired 2 Americans in his revenge tour after giving up the walk-off. Count is even on the outside ball. Passed. Has had a productive day. He's 1 for 2. Also got hit by the pitch. He's reached base all 3 times up, as the fielder's choice was the only out on his tally. Ball 2 at past feet. Now he's up in the count after the early strike. 2-1 is cut on and missed. Nick Pass goes fishing, and it's 2-2 to make it 2s across the board. A lot of evened up numbers. Tie score, tied in hits, and the count is even as well, but a swing and a miss to end the inning. Evan Hollinsworth strikes out the final batter he faces in this 7th. We'll send it to the bottom of the inning after the break as the Muckdogs still looking to retake this lead.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Top of the order, ready to face Aiden Klimzak in this bottom of the 7th. We remind you that the 7th inning is sponsored by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. Also, would like to remind you that the Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in your community. Please visit the Americans website at www.niagarafallsamericans.com to get involved. Go Americans! Aiden Klimzak entering his 7th inning of work after 5 from Matt Kasperwitz to start the game. Muckdogs already on their 3rd pitcher of the game. Cole Taylor was the first reliever, followed by Evan Hollinsworth. Eric Woodley went 5 innings in his start as well. Ended up with just as many runs charged to him as Matt Kasperwitz, as the first few batters faced were all against Eric Woodley. 4 earned runs for Eric, all coming in after he left the game. Klimzak with the first pitch to Castrotaro. It finds the outside corner of the zone for strike 1. Tyler Castrataro. Already has 2 hits today, but also a strikeout. Check swing there, and they will say he pulled back in time for ball 1. Tyler, number 1, has the count even at once. Klimzak looking to change that. Outside corner, strike 2. And there it is. Klim has the count in his favor. Looking for his 3rd strikeout of the day. Got the last 2 consecutively to end the inning. This time a pop-up in foul territory. Pass chasing it down. Goes out of play into the first base side stance. So Aiden Klimzak has retired 3 batters so far. The last 2 came on swinging strike 3s. Can he make that 3 in a row? With the 1-2 pitch coming up. He delivers. It's a liner. Into left field, drops fair. Base hit for Tyler Castrataro. He's got a 3-hit game. Talk about Graydon Miller with 3 hits on Tuesday against the Muckdogs. Now, Tyler Castrataro with a trio against the Americans. Miller, albeit, did have the double in this game for his sole hit. Braden Horton, who's 1 for 2, looking to advance Castrataro again. Horton hit by the pitch his first time up, also struck out today. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful on Tyler. Both of these guys Division I products. Tyler from Hofstra, Braden from Oklahoma. Horton started his collegiate career at Liberty. Had 11 homers and a 903 OPS with the Flames. And then came to Oklahoma, where he played in the playoffs. Pulls back his swing there for ball 1. An upstairs pitch. Nick Pass makes a nice stop to keep Castrataro at first base. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful at first. High stakes in this game. We're all tied up. The Americans can get their magic number down to 1 with a win today. The Muckdogs can inch closer to clinching that home playoff game. And it's a low inside strike 1 to even up the count here. Ironbacks lead 1-0 over Auburn in Game 2 of their doubleheader. The Ironbacks win both of those games and the Muckdogs win today. Auburn cannot mathematically surpass Batavia in the standings. And then it would be between Batavia, Niagara Falls, and Jamestown for those home games. Potentially Auburn getting it as a 2 seed, but would be less likely. Inside ball 2. Horton now with the count in his favor. There's been a couple of pickoff attempts here, making this at bat feel longer than it really has gone in pitches. 2-1 pitch. Line softly into left field and drops for the base hit right on the edge of the diamond. Run scores, runners on second and third. Another awkwardly hit one, this time for Batavia, and it's a double. Muckdogs up to 9 hits and 5 runs. They take the lead back. Excuse me, no runs scored there, but runners on second and third. Castrataro still on third. Mindas 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Strikeout came first time up, but still looking for a hit in this one. Mindaw shows bunt, and that will be a strike. Early strike one. With 2 runners in scoring position, Klimzak needs this first out badly. Jackson Inman's on deck. Omar Carrera's in the hole. This is the heart of the Muckdogs order. And Batavia looking to retake their lead. Klimzak, the 0-1, is lined into center field. Kiefer makes the grab on the basket catch. Run coming in. It's a sac fly. The Muckdogs with their 3rd sac fly of the day. It's 5-4. Horton stays on second, but Castrataro scores. Batavia leads 5-4. Jackson Inman up next. Inman. First pitch from Klimzak. Check, swing, and no bite there. Ball 1 on the lefty Inman to face the right-handed Klimzak. An opposite-handed matchup with 1 down and a runner still on second after Castrataro scored from third. Braden Horton hangs on there. Klimzak checks back on him. Ramos in a game of chicken with Horton. The throw back not in time to catch Braden. Horton already has a steal in this game. And Jackson Inman looking to keep it going. Can the lefty knock in the lefty? Grounder right to Miller at first. Klimzak comes over to cover, and he gets there in time for out number 2. But Horton is at third base now. 2 down. And the Muckdogs looking to score that second runner before this inning ends. They lead by just 1. Retook the lead here after the 4-run rally in the top of the 6th for the Americans. Americans' bats had struggled up to that point. Will look to keep it going when they're back in the top of the 8th, though. Aiden with the breaking ball outside, finds the outside edge of the zone. Strike 1 on the new batter, Omar Carreras. He's 0 for 2. 0-1 pitch is lined right to Ramos. It hops the throw to first in time for out number 3. So the Muckdogs score 1, but strand another. They lead by 1 as we head to the 8th inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the 8th inning. The 8th brought to you by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. Carmen Panaro will lead things off for the Americans in this inning, followed up by Connor Kiefer and Logan Stickler. That's the bottom of the Americans' order, bottom 3 to be precise. Evan Hollinsworth still going for Batavia. He's the 3rd pitcher in this game for the Dogs. Muckdogs scored 1 in that bottom of the 7th to retake the lead. And the Muckdogs have 2 wins over the Americans this season. But both of them have come in games that weren't really this close. All the close games this season, as I discussed with the Muckdogs broadcaster Nikita Lohman, have gone in the Americans' favor so far. We'll see if Batavia can win a close one against the Americans here on this Sunday afternoon. Carm Panaro with a strike on the count early. And high ball 1 to Carm as he pulls back his bunt. But the Americans, with a win today, it would be 5 over the Muckdogs on the season. That would clinch the season series. There was only one more matchup between these teams. The Americans lead the series 4-2. Another ball to Carmen. Hollinsworth in this left-on-left matchup theoretically has the advantage, but Panaro looking to disprove that theory. Has the count in his favor, and the foul ball right behind him evens up the count. Panaro's 0 for 2 on the day. Panaro walked for his only time on base during that 4-run rally in the 6th inning. The Americans, when they've won games here in Batavia, they've often come from big rallies. 7-run rally on opening night here in Batavia, and now a 4-run rally on this Sunday afternoon in the final game here in Batavia, at least until the playoffs. That's a dribbler foul. Full count on Carm Panaro. First batter of the inning. Really extending this against Hollinsworth. Evans Hollinsworth in his 2nd inning of work. And cheers starting loud in this crowd as Evan Hollinsworth looks to win the battle with this count filled up. He sets. And now delivers the payoff. Swing and a miss. Carmen Panaro strikes out again. That's his 2nd strikeout of the day. And now Connor Kiefer up to bat with the bases empty. Kiefer's 1 for 2 with the walk. Walk knocked in a run back in inning number 6. Hollinsworth looking to retire Kiefer for the 2nd time in this game. First pitch is up and away for ball 1. Kiefer came in a .280 hitter. Looks that average will go up given his 1 for 2 start to the day. Check swing. He went there. Did not pull back in time. It's ones across the board to who other than number 1. And I've received word from Muckdogs broadcaster Nikita Lohman that there's action in the Muckdogs bullpen in the form of Garrett Beaver. Has served as the Muckdogs closer much of the year, but a blown save against the Americans when Chris Gazaldo walked things off. The 1-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. Connor Kiefer takes one on the low edge and goes down looking. Kiefer has struck out just once today. That was the first time. Logan Stickler, a 2-time strikeout victim, looking to avoid being a part of this string of strikeouts for Evan Hollinsworth. He has 3 on the day. Looking to strike out the side in this inning. Big cut and miss for the first strike on Stickler. Hollinsworth is continuing to improve as the season has gone on, despite that blip in the radar on Tuesday. 1-1 on Logan Stickler. Stickler 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and a walk. Looking to make contact in fair territory for the first time today. Big cut and miss instead, and it's 1-2. Evan Hollinsworth, 1 strike away from striking out the side on these Americans. Can he do it? and keep the Muckdogs up 1. Americans would have just one more chance to tie this game back up. That would come in the top of the 9th. But Stickler can prevent that here. Instead, he swings and misses. Third strikeout of the day. Evan Hollinsworth strikes out the side. Muckdogs headed back up in the bottom of the 8th, and they'll look for some more insurance with a 1-run lead. We'll be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Robert Leach steps in after 2 innings from Aiden Klimzak. Leach has seen a mix of starts and relief appearances this season. 1-1, 5.76 ERA, 24 strikeouts, but also 4 saves. If the Americans can give him some run support, chance for the win here in Batavia. If he stays in for the 9th and the Americans score some runs for him. Leach capable of pitching in 3-inning batches. So I'd imagine that Leach will finish this game for Niagara Falls after 5 from Caspi and 2 from Aiden Klimzak. And Leach is set to face parts of the bottom half of this Muckdogs order. It's Bolton, James Bolton up first, Jacob Vezco on deck, and Justin Espinal in the hole. All 3 due up in this bottom of the 8th. Americans got through the tougher part of the Muckdogs order with just 1 run allowed in that bottom of the 7th, but in all likelihood, unless Robert Leach can go out there and dominate on the mound, he will have to see a good part of Batavia's top of the order if this game keeps going for the Americans. Americans will first have to tie or take the lead in this game in the top of the 9th. And then Robert Leach would have to get through at least part of the top of the Muckdogs order. Tyler Castrotaro would be guaranteed to come back up to bat if this game gets to a bottom of the 9th inning. And without perfect work from Leach, Braden Horton will come as well, Sean Mindos, Jackson Inman, the whole crew. But right now, James Bolton, the first customer for Leach. Leach, a product of St. John Fisher, facing another D3 New York baseball product, James Bolton of SUNY Cortland. Leach, the first pitch is outside, but finds the corner for strike 1. Bolton came in batting .304 on the season and 1 for 3 today. Up and away for ball 1. Robert Leach looking to build on a very strong outing last time he pitched. Liner into right field, but caught by Graydon Miller, cut off for out number 1. Prevents what would likely have been extra bases for James Bolton. But Robert Leach, last pitched against the Ironbacks on Monday, went 3 innings, picked up the save, struck out the side in an inning. It was some of his best work all season long, so he's looking to build off that here in Batavia and keep the Americans in this game. Cut a miss for Vezco, puts him down 0-1. Jacob Vezco up for the 4th time today. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Another big cut and miss as Vezco goes chasing on the outside strike. Can Leach strike out Vezco in just 3 pitches. Here's the 0-2. It's a high fly ball into right field. Panaro is there, but it goes into the bullpen. Panaro flips into the pen. Carmen Panaro, the acrobat, can't make the grab, but certainly makes the dive. And he heads back into right field. What an attempt from Carmen. My goodness. Crowd's happy about it too. Made that somersault and he's all right. Vezco. Down 0-2, looking to recover against Leach. It is up and away for ball 1. That's a start for Jacob. Got to show some patience here with 2 strikes on the count, unless you see something clearly in the zone. Leach, the 1-2 pitch is a foul tip. Vezco with something to hit at right there. Vezco still looking to climb out of this hole, but a swing and a miss will send him packing. 2 down for Batavia, and Robert Leach's first 2 batters faced. And the Muckdogs down to their final batter. One Carmen Panaro cartwheel later. Justin Espinal, the first baseman for Batavia, up next. Has played a mix of first and third this season with Jackson Inman at third base. He's settled in on the opposite corner. Fly ball into left center. And diving Connor Kiefer cannot make the grab. But the throw to second, not in time either. Justin Espinal with the 2-bagger to keep Batavia alive in the inning. My goodness. Connor Kiefer came close to making the grab and then came close to making the throw. But close is not enough in an already close game. Pinch runner is Luke Dodonna. So Dodonna in for Espinal after the double in his final at-bat of the game. Espinal finishes his day having two hits as well as a sac fly. Only time he was retired was on the sacrifice. And pump fake at a pickoff attempt unsuccessful there. Kyle Vaughn up next. Just outside for ball 1. So 2 down, runner on second for Batavia. Dodonna is there for Espinal after Justin hit the double. Almost caught on the slide by Kiefer. And then Espinal almost tagged out at second. But, I mean, if all the almost runs in this game were scored and all the almost outs were made, this would be a very different game right now. Muckdogs up to 10 hits. Vaughn, bit of a check swing, but pulls back before the full hack to make it 2-0. Leach, a little rattled after the double, has thrown 2 consecutive balls. Delivers on the 2-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball high for ball 3. Robert Leach looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk. Would put 2 on for Cooper Fesh. Not a batter you want to face with runners in scoring position. But is a 4-pitch walk, and indeed, Robert Leach will have to face Cooper. The other unfortunate thing about this thing for Robert is even if Fesh is retired here, the entire top of the Muckdogs order will be waiting, given the American score in the 9th. Robert Leach looking for his final out of the inning and looking to strand these runners on for the Muckdogs, down 1 run. Up and in for ball 1. Cooper Fesh hitless today, but came in batting .337 with an .885 OPS. The catcher also had 150 putouts back in the spring. Down and in this time, and it's 2-0. An over adjustment from Robert Leach and a meeting on the mound as Leach has thrown 6 consecutive balls. Cooper Fesh looking to knock in these runners. And this 4th time through the Muckdogs order. Fesh steps back in after the timeout. Count in his favor. Runners have a lead. It's Dodonna on second, and now Kyle Vaughn on first. A 3rd ball to Cooper Fesh. Walk here, loads the bases for Tyler Castrataro, who has a 3-hit game. Not what you want to see if you're Robert Leach. Here's the 3-0, and it gets in there on the inside corner for strike 1. Robert Leach is hanging by a thread in this at-bat. Can he recover for the final out? Possible Fesh will swing now that there's a strike on the count. See what Leach has in store. It's a hit on the shoulder. Oh, my goodness. The Muckdogs have the bases loaded. The Americans tied this up, but now Robert Leach has to prevent the Muckdogs from blowing this game back open. Tyler Castrataro up for the 5th time today. He's had hits on 3 of those other times up, striking out just once his first time up to the plate. Since then, 3 consecutive hits. Leach. First pitch is lined down the first base line, foul. So that's a way to get a strike for Robert. Up in the count early here. Needs 2 more of those, and this inning is over without a scratch. I mean, Leach has thrown a lot of pitches, so maybe the scratch is him being tired out ahead of a potential bottom of the 9th. 0-1 pitch is low and too far low for ball 1. Castrataro. If he gets his 4th hit of the day, runs will score. If he even walks, runs will score. There is nowhere to put arguably the hottest hitter on the Muckdogs today. 1-1-2 down, and a foul tip to make it 1-2. Right into the glove of Nick Past. Leach needs 1 more strike to finish him off. Can he finish Tyler Castrataro after Kasperwitz did in the 1st? It's a liner instead, caught by Huang for out number 3. So the Muckdogs strand the bases loaded, even though Leach doesn't get the strikeout. We'll send it to the top of the 9th. The Americans with 1 last chance to either tie this game back up or retake the lead. We'll be right back with that.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
we bring you back for the top of the ninth. Garrett Beaver in for the Muckdogs. The Americans down to their final shot to win this game, dwindle their magic number down to 1. Muckdogs looking to win on their home turf and stay alive in the season series. Alan Ramos leading it off as he did to start this game. The stakes could not be higher. This ninth inning brought to you by Casella, Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages. Alan Ramos. His first hit was also his first extra base hit of the season. 1 for 4 with a 2-run double. That tied the game. Ramos takes it outside for ball 1. Beaver has pitched in a lot of late inning games for these Muckdogs. 1-1 to Allen on the outside strike. Beaver a 1.42 ERA, 2-0 record. Ramos takes that at his knees for ball 2. Garrett Beaver was the pitcher who led a lot of those runners on base before the walk-off for Chris Gazaldo the last time these teams faced off. Check swing for Ramos. They will say he went. 2-2. And Ramos looking to do something big against Beaver again here. Fly ball into left field. And coming in from center was Horton, but it drops for the base hit. Alan Ramos, his second hit on the last 2 at-bats. And he's on first base. For Gavin Boyle, Boyle has his own 2-hit game, also got intentionally walked back in the 6th inning. That allowed the Muckdogs to end it with a double play. That arguably saved the game for Batavia, as the Americans could have scored 2 more if not for the twin killing. That's inside, but finds the corner of the zone for strike 1. Garrett Beaver bringing the heat. Went 1 2/3 against Newark after the blow-up in Niagara Falls. Which Garrett Beaver will show up today against these Americans? It's a foul tip to put Boyle in an 0-2 hole. Boyle, a pair of singles in this game. Looking to advance Ramos. Ramos, the chance to advance himself, but might not want to risk a steal with 2 strikes and every out counting. Ramos starts to take his lead towards second, but a pop-up for Boyle. In the shallow infield, Inman catches another right there. Similar spot to the last pop-up he caught. 1 down, 1 on for Chris Gazaldo. Gazaldo, better known as the X Factor. The RBI knock to end the game against Batavia last time around. Still looking for his first hit here. A big knock could keep the Americans in this game. Ramos takes off for second on the first pitch to Gazaldo. He gets in there safe. Stolen base for Allen. Alan Ramos is on second base. Steal number 7. Gazaldo with Ramos on second. The shortstop and third baseman most of the year in some order. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. One's across the board. Miller's on deck. Boyle retired on the pop out. Ramos on second. 1-1 pitch low. One's across the board. Chris Gazaldo with the count in his favor. The outside. Gazaldo up 3-1 now. Will Beaver walk Chris Gazaldo. Check swing, but no bite. Ball 4, Gazaldo's on first. That's the go-ahead run. Graydon Miller, the chance to knock him in. Miller, his only hit came in leadoff fashion for this team. He's led off twice today despite being in the cleanup spot. Instead of leading off in this inning, the chance to clean it up, as his role in the order states. Down and in for ball 1. Miller has 27 RBIs on the year. Looking for number 28, potentially even numbers 29 and 30. He leads the team in ribbies. Miller pops it up, foul territory, goes out of play, one's across the board. Ramos is the lead runner at second, Gazaldo right behind him. Miller looking to get this counted back in his favor after the early ball. Beaver, it's popped up, and Vaughn comes in and he falls over, but he makes the grab. Excuse me, that's Jacob Vezco in right field, and the grab was made by Carreras. It's 2 down. So the defensive changes for Batavia. Kyle Vaughn in center, Horton to first, and Vezco in right field. Ian Wang with 2 runners on and 2 down. Looking for his 8th hit against Batavia all season in just 3 games played. Wang. This hit would come in a big moment for Niagara Falls if he can get one here. 1-0 taken inside. Wang, a bit of a check swing, but did not go. Count in his favor. The Americans looking to retake the lead in this 9th inning, cut their magic number to 1. Can they do it? Beaver, breaking ball in there on the high edge for strike 1. Up and in, but finds the corner. Wang. 2-1 pitch is a high chopper right to the first baseman. Horton, the flip to the pitcher to end the game. The Muckdogs strand both runners on and win 5-4. We thank everyone for tuning in. We will be back on July 21st. That's tomorrow as the Americans take on the Diesel. First pitch at 6:30. Thank you so much for tuning in. Final score from Batavia, Muckdogs 5, Americans 4.